All right, good to have you back. What we're doing today is another chapter in our study of triads. If you're working through my triad series, which goes through my book, Triads in a systematic and progressive way, I'm adding songs that are lovely to play in this style. This style meaning keeping the melody on the top and just using 3-note chords on the bottom. At the same time, it'll give you a really good grip on what triads are and how they can be used. And it's a little more challenging than just playing exercises. So this is the third tune I'm doing now in that style. You can check out the others. My last one was just a closer walk. And I can't remember what the one before that was, but check them out. Okay, now Skye Boat Song, key of G, and in the key of G, we know it's a key of G because as we can see here, it's an F sharp in the key signature. F sharp in the key signature tells us that it's G, A, B, C, D, E, F sharp, G. It tells us we're in the key of G. All right, that same key signature can also be used for the key of E minor. Now, the chords in the key of G, as I have them written here, are G, A minor, B minor, C major, D major, E minor, F sharp diminished, and G. We don't get to use the F sharp diminished in this tune. So now that we know that, let's just do a quick analysis of this tune. It starts on the 1 chord and goes to the 2 chord and to the 5 chord. 1, 4, 1, and 5. 1, 1 and 4 and 1. So that's the end of the first section. I'm just playing chordally. We haven't got to the melody yet. 1, 2, 5, 1, 4, 1, 5, 1, 2, 5, 1, 4, 1. Then we go to the relative minor and to the 2 chord, relative minor 6 chord, and then 4, and back to the 6 chord. So it sort of floats around the relative minor to 4 and 5. They missed the 5 chord there, and that's okay. We'll deal with that. Okay, so that's the analysis of the tune. Now I'm going to play the tune, and for those of you who aren't familiar with the melody, I'm just going to play it as written. Top. Okay, so that gives you a little bit of an idea of how that melody goes. We're obviously at 3/4 time, and now let's just move the melody up an octave. This is what we normally do in a chord melody style. You can play this chord melody style with open position chords down in the open region, right? gets a little dark down there, and that's not what we're doing. We want to move it up an octave. Okay, and that's where we are now. So now we're going to take this tune and put the triads below. We'll do this slowly. So as you can see, I've got a note that's not in the triad. No big deal, I just add it, right? And then there's my G, and I don't have to change my position. So let's take that, and then to the A minor. Same deal. I have this upper neighbor, and then all the way up to 10th position to grab that little D chord. So let's take that from the beginning. Okay, and then the next 4 measures, we'll play the G in this position here with the B on top. I have to get the A, in this case, below the chord. Okay, and then C chord, G with a D on top, and then D with a D on top. Okay, so that note pedals through those 2 chords. Now, you'll notice when you play in this kind of style, the challenge is keeping the melody on top. So for instance, when I do that fairly large jump up to D at the in 10th position, I don't really have much of a choice for chords. You know, I have to use the D chord, and I have to play that D at the top, right? And so I'm in 10th position, an octave higher. Okay, so let me just play that first phrase. Second phrase. Okay, so the second phrase tags out after 16 measures, just tags out with a G. It doesn't go to the D because we don't turn back around to the G. So the D, or the 5 chord, typically wants to go back to the 1. So that's why we have this at the end of the first 8 measures. Now we move to E minor, and here's my triad. Right, just 3-note triad, A minor triad. You can see that everything is within the chord, right? No reason to switch the chords around because it's nice to just let them ring, and then an E minor here. And then changes to a C, and then you could get E minor here or here. And then E minor, C, E minor, or E minor, right? And then second section, and then the E minor, C, E minor, and then you want the very end, you want to turn around with that D, so which they didn't put there and I didn't add. So it's a D here, as you can see. The melody goes from an E to a D, pretty clear, right? E minor, and then to the D, which turns around to the G. 7th position, G and D. I just used an alternate G. And here, and there's that C. There are lots of variations, but I'm not going to get into variations because I just really want you to have something that's clear, that you can play, and that you can use your triads to execute. Now, when you're playing this, before you jump into something like this, I would really strongly suggest just a bit of a guitar fretboard orientation in this key of G, right? So just work your way through the key in scales. You know, get used to it, because wherever you stop in the chord melody, you'll eventually maybe want to put other ideas in, and you should know what's underneath each of these chords. You get the idea. Another nice way to orient yourself to the fretboard prior to starting something like this is just play through the chords. G. You know, work your way around the fretboard in triads like this. Have fun, and then do the same thing with A minor. Around the fretboard. D. Combine two chords. Have fun with it that way, right? They're just myriad possibilities for this style, and this style will eventually lead you to playing more complex sounds if you want to. But this is the foundation. If you know, when I was just thinking this afternoon, what should I shoot today? And one of the things I was thinking is, you know, when I started playing as a young guy and played in rock bands and stuff, I couldn't do this, but I could solo like a crazy person. You know, I was a good rock and roll guitar player, and I see now on YouTube and stuff that a lot of guys have just somehow neglected completely the idea of using the guitar as a polyphonic instrument, of knowing and understanding where their triads are up and down the fretboard. I like to think of the guitar like George Van Apps said, that it's a lap piano, right? It's meant to be played chordally. Everybody sort of burns through their scales and stuff, but they don't do simple exercises like their triads and inversions, right? So I can't imagine that. I can't imagine how a guitar player can say I'm a guitar player, but he only ever plays single notes. That's just me, my opinion. but this is meant to be played as a polyphonic instrument, as an instrument as an instrument of harmony. It's like a little lap choir. That's another thing it is, because each one, if you took these chords here and you played the chords like that, and you had 6 voices, let's say. You say, okay, 2 of you sing this, 2 of you sing this, and 2 of you sing this. You'd have the beginning of a lovely little choir. Then you say, now you sing this, and you sing this, right? And not enough guitar players know how to arrange vocals and do things like that with this instrument. So if you've come here with the idea that oh man, this is really easy, well, prove that to yourself, okay? By playing it, okay. So and by harmonizing simple melodies and memorizing them, okay, good. So for those of you who are out there and doing this little triad journey and an exploration of chords and chord scales and so on with me, I'm going to have an ongoing conversation that it relates to lovely, simple, doable melodies that play well on the guitar. Okay, great. Thanks a lot. See you soon. Thanks for stopping by, and I hope this was of value to you. Bye.